Welcome to podcast 43. Yes, maybe, but yes.
Hoo doggy! Welcome to another episode, podcast 43. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Fulton. I've, just been, I was reading that Vanity Fair piece about the Snyder Cut. I didn't think I could get more excited, but here we are.
I haven't been that excited since I saw the ranch for the first time when I was 4. So,
The ranch.
the ranch. Hoo doggy. So, I'm from Texas now. Recently discovered. Anyways, how are you? I already asked you that. Sorry about that. Well, I'm also very excited. I haven't read the Vanity Fair piece, but I'll take your word for it. Does it spoil anything?
The only thing it doesn't spoil anything. It just warms my heart. That's it. That's my.
Well, that's good because you know what, I got some more Zack Snyder news for you coming up in the news section. So maybe we can grow that heart even bigger for Mr. Snyder.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, what have
He's not getting paid to do extra work on Snyder Cut.
are you for real?
Nope.
I mean, did the actors get paid? I mean, I'm sure the editors got, that's what I don't understand. Is it like a part of their contract?
He said, and I quote from this IGN article, "I didn't want to be beholden to anyone, and it allowed me to keep my negotiating powers with these people pretty strong."
Okay. Well, I just feel bad for him, but I mean, if he's okay with doing it, and I mean, I can understand his reasoning to a certain extent, but I also think like it's also, I mean, I would think it's going to pull in a lot of money and probably subscriptions for HBO Max, which he probably would have been a part of if he had taken pay. But um, I don't know. I remember they said that they weren't going to do actual, they weren't going to actually shoot anything new, but I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah.
Right? So
They reshot they reshot a lot.
yeah.
He also said in the Vanity Fair interview that he had never watched the final cut of the film that came out 3 years ago, and is just kind of doing his own thing, and I guess taking the aspect ratio and changing it to 4:3 for
Dude,
some reason.
I just don't understand. Like you would think, since I mean a lot of people, they'll they have their cons with Zack Snyder, but one thing that you can't really deny is that he is like he's very good at imagery, and like I think he knows how to make a good shot. I mean, the story might not all be there, and the directing is, also could come into question, but I think his films have like I don't think they're super pretty because a lot of them do kind of have like a very toned down like color palette, but I think the image itself is really interesting. Um, so I just don't understand why he's boxing it back in because his original idea, I read it probably in one of the IGN write-ups they did about it. His original idea was to film the movie uh, in a way to where it would literally take up like the whole IMAX screen, where they wouldn't have like the regular shots fill the screen, then the IMAX shots have the black borders on the top and bottom. So it's interesting to see how he wanted to go all the way and now he's like kind of boxing it in. But who knows?
We'll see. We've said it a lot, but we'll be anxiously anticipating it next month.
Well, in other news, what have you been watching lately, Chris?
Well, I've been watching a lot of really great stuff this week, and I think I'm gonna kick it all off with my fourth rewatch of Freddy Got Fingered. masterful film. I even noticed this time around that there was a kind of a little bit of it had a lot in common. It has something in common with Jean-Luc Godard's Contempt, with its usage of melodramatic music cues for just out of nowhere in the movie.
Hmm.
And it's just so damn funny. Just Tom Green knows what he's making is ridiculous and dumb, and he just wants you to know that too.
Hmm.
And he just has fun with this framework of a like of one of those like 90s like loser comedies where it's like this loser that like doesn't do much, ends up like getting the girl and like is successful at the end, proves his parents wrong and stuff. But it's
Hmm.
just Tom Cruise. It's just not Tom Cruise. Tom Green taking that and just stomping all over it in the most ridiculous way possible,
Hmm.
and just so many quotable bits.
I've still yet to see it, but I've heard the myths and the legend. Do you think it's coming upon a critical reevaluation?
I think the critical reevaluation has already come upon us, Fulton. I
Hmm.
think that the thing that sucks is that Green said that there's a director's cut,
Hmm.
like that was going to get released like over 10 years ago. Still no word on that. 20th Century Fox, what are you doing? What
Yeah.
are you doing? Sorry, 20th Century Studios
20th
now.
century
Uh,
Disney.
yeah,
Yeah.
Disney I could see them they work a lot with Kino Lorber with their Blu-ray releases. Disney at least does, and I could see Kino releasing Freddy Got Fingered Blu-ray. So
Well,
I've been waiting on it.
well, if it's already done, maybe they could pipeline it to be a direct competitor with Zack Snyder's Justice League, so we could get two competing director's cuts
On
out there at one time.
I would love the idea of Freddy Got Fingered just being used in the same way that Nomadland's being used to get people to sign up for Hulu. Just like we have the director's cut of Freddy Got Fingered on Hulu. Check it out.
That would be um quite the headline, I think. But crazier things have happened this year, much like one that
Yeah,
keeps popping up that I keep thinking about, just I can't believe, is that Barry Jenkins is directing the Lion King sequel. But
that's right. I didn't even I didn't even watch Nomadland. It's been out for what, 3 days now,
oh,
and
it's already on Hulu?
yeah, they put it on Hulu.
Oh. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I wanted to go see it in theaters, which I might still do just depending on the time, but I didn't honestly, I didn't even know it was on Hulu till you just said something about it. But
Well, bad advertising on
on
Disney's
Hulu,
part.
yeah. Well, I don't get on Hulu too much, but I will say I've been frequenting HBO Max quite a bit, and me and friends of the show, I should say, Andrew and Trevor, we all got together and watched Wild Wild West. And
Yeah.
have you seen it?
I think I've seen like the beginning of it, and of course I've heard the song countless amounts of times, but I don't think I've ever seen the thing in its entirety.
Oh my God, Chris, you need to see it. It's amazing. It got added to my legendary action films list, which is takes a special film to get up there. Um, Bad Boys 2 is still king in that list, but I still think Wild Wild West has a ton to offer. Um,
I
you
mean,
know,
steampunk western. You can't go wrong with that.
yeah, I mean, well, Kenneth Branagh's given it 110%, and it's perfect for the character that he is. There's some amazing little lines in there. I don't want to spoil too much, but um, it's definitely a movie to get together with a couple pals. Maybe throw it on with the family. You could probably have some fun with it. But yeah, I definitely highly recommend Wild Wild West. It's not too long of a watch either, but it never really feels slow. It's pretty fun and ridiculous. So
What happened? Why doesn't Will Smith do better dumb action movies anymore? I think
that's what we're
maybe
all
he just doesn't
asking.
have Maybe he just doesn't have the youthful charisma for it anymore. I think that could be the reason.
Yeah, really, I would say all he'd need to get back to that charisma was a good supporting cast for Martin Lawrence. But as Bad Boys for Life unfortunately proved to us, that wasn't quite the answer we were looking for. But I will
No.
say this: I would love a Wild Wild 2 West. However, they want to put the two in the title.
Too
I
Wild, Too West.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's what Trevor said, which is also a very good, very good sequel title. But I think it could be done. I don't know, but we'll
Uh,
see.
well, on that note of action movies,
Mm-hmm.
I would say that this is a contender for your list, Fulton. The
Mm-hmm.
Night Comes for Us, which is a 2018 Indonesian action film. It's
Mm-hmm.
on Netflix by Timo Teja Jajajanto. I'm probably butchering his name,
Welcome
but
to the club, Chris.
now I know how it feels.
Yeah, it sucks because you don't want to be disrespectful. But continue. Sorry.
Well, I got word this week that he was directing the Train to Busan remake that New Line Cinema's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to look at his other work with some friends, and we checked this one out. It's on Netflix, and it was great. The action was, I mean, it was like one of the most violent movies I've seen probably ever. Like I'm
Oh
thinking,
wow.
I was thinking it would probably get an NC-17 if it was released, if it got because the MPAA didn't rate it. It's just TVMA on Netflix. But
Mm-hmm.
it does, the choreography is really good. You find really there's really they just find really creative ways to just gruesomely kill people in this movie. But it's about like triad gangs like coming to get this one guy that like wants to save this girl instead of killing her, and like it's
Mm-hmm.
just like everybody just rushing at him, like all these goons and stuff. So you can kind of see like what his Train to Busan remake will be like just based on that, because it's like in a lot of ways sometimes the goons of the triad gang kind of move in a zombie like fashion. So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I see what he could do with this. And if he could make it so like he can implement this like really great action into this Train to Busan remake. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's one of those things I don't really necessarily think needs to happen, but I'm not gonna shut it out completely. I'll still probably check it out. I still need to see Peninsula, which oh, it's on Shutter, I think, but I don't have Shutter.
You
So
see, I don't really have as much of a problem with it because I think it's in good hands, and I think that,
yeah, yeah, I
like I
just
said, this dude's like, I think I really want to check out his other movies.
mm-hmm,
Because he's done some other cool Indonesian films,
mm-hmm.
and and then it also made me want to check out the Raid movies because I still haven't seen those.
Oh yeah, yeah, I do want to see those. This has been on my list.
Mm.
Um, it's a little bit of a side note. It's I mean, a lot of that stuff's kind of bound to happen when stuff like that has or films like that have resonate with like American audiences. And it's even interesting to see how Parasite has kind of I mean, I'm not surprised that it's getting an American remake, but it's different to where um it's like going to HBO, it's going to be a mini series and it's also going to be helmed from Boom Joon-ho, and you're also getting like bonus stuff, I think, from what he said. He's going to like put in all the stuff that was left on the cutting room floor. So, I think that's a little
Yeah,
interesting, but I don't know how it will be.
I just think that I'm just kind of more curious at like how Parasite will kind of continue because
Hmm.
it's quite a self-contained thing. Like,
Oh yeah, did we talk about that? I don't even
what
think
about
we talked about that. Yeah.
The Parasite sequel that,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's already written one and he's working on another one or something. I don't know if we talked about that last week, but
he's
a
gonna
little bit of
Avatar
news
that
bit.
shit. They're gonna Parasite underwater.
Dude, I feel like we're never gonna see those Avatar I just feel like it's never gonna happen, but I'll hold my tongue. I know they are making them. It's so much out of a franchise
I
that I don't really think has the legs for it, but we'll see.
I think Avatar 1 I think it's coming up on a rewatch for me. But yeah,
If you speak highly of it, I'll check it out. But I think it was one of those kind of theater experience movies.
oh
Um,
yeah.
so I don't know, but I'm willing to rewatch it though.
I'd say probably the thing that was bouncing around in my head the most today or this
Mm-hmm.
week though was uh Nicholas Roeg's Walkabout
Mm-hmm.
from 1971. I was kind of making my way through the Criterion Channel collection of the Australian New Wave with my girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just we checked this one out first, and then we did Picnic at Hanging Rock, which I wasn't too crazy about, and she
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really either. But this one was great. It's just about these two kids that go that just get stuck out in the outback of Australia, and they just have to survive. But it's not like other survival movies where it's like the emphasis is on like, oh, it's so tough to survive and stuff, because like the camera and like the way that the camera is positioned, the way that the editing is, it kind of makes it feel a lot more like relaxed and enjoyable. Like we'll have to survive, and that's still
Mm-hmm.
an important thing, but it's not like how I feel in like watching Castaway
Mm-hmm.
or something along those lines,
Or
where
The
it's like you can
Edge.
still kind of yeah, you can still like kind of take in just the beautiful nature of Australia, and they
Mm-hmm.
meet this Aboriginal teenage boy that helps them, and it's just great. I think it's my favorite Roig that I've seen of the three. I know we talked about Don't
Don't
Look
Look
Now
Now. Yeah. What's the
or
other one that you've seen?
Bad Timing, the one that he did with Art Garfunkel.
Oh, okay. I might have to check
That
that
one's
one out. That
cool.
sounds interesting. I
Yeah,
wasn't aware of that one.
he's quite an interesting director. I think I'd put him and De Palma in similar categories where I'm kind of always interested in whatever
Mm-hmm.
they do, even if I don't always like. I'm not 100% on board,
Mm-hmm.
but
Was Art
this
Garfunkel's son in Bad Timing?
uh I don't know. I mean, this was from like the 70s,
He
so
was probably. They probably had a shot where him and his dad were together. That would be kind of cool, don't you think?
I, I didn't know about Art Garfunkel's son.
Wait, you haven't seen?
Oh yeah, he looks
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
like
He's
him.
like
Yeah,
a mini little
yeah,
bird. My
yeah.
bad. I
He's
was
got like
gonna
the
say I thought
hair.
you sent that to me.
So yeah, you're right. I did. I was the one that sent that to you.
Sorry, I didn't mean
Uh,
to derail you.
no, it's completely okay.
Mm.
Did you watch anything else?
Yeah, I didn't get too many films in this week as I was able to last week, but the only other film that I got in was A History of Violence, David
Uh,
Cronenberg's 2005 film. It's got Mr. Viggo Mortensen. Um, so I know that a lot of people really like this movie, and I was very excited to watch it. And I'll be honest, I don't know if I love it. I think I could rewatch it again at some point in the future, but I don't think it's as high up on my list as maybe other movies that I want to rewatch. I think the acting all around is pretty good. Um, I
Vigo's
mainly,
good in it, right?
yeah, oh yeah, Vigo's pretty good in it. It's just my only kind of I don't like to blame films for being a product of their time, but this film felt a little cheap to me in some areas. Like the opening title crawl, or not the opening title crawl, but the opening like title text is in like the most basic like I feel like they just put in when they put it in Windows Movie Maker and kind of found the first text that they could. It's like a weird kind of
Really?
yeah, it just but I don't want to that's more of like a nitpicky thing, but then also like the gunshots, Like the specific sound, the special, like the sound effect that they use, it's like the most generic, like gunshot that you've probably heard in like numerous YouTube videos before. And so that's like another kind of product of the time thing, but I think they could have had more variety, because it kind of lessens those moments that, to me, it lessens the moments that are supposed to be really tense in the film. And I I'm not as crazy about the story as I hoped I would be too. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm still really interested to check out that kind of like early 2000s to like 2010 period, um, of Cronenberg, where it's like Eastern Promises, this, Map to the Stars, and Cosmopolis, and so it hasn't deterred me away, and I do really really like David Cronenberg.
I want to see the
Um,
one that he did on Freud, A Dangerous Method with
oh yeah, I've got that one. I got that one for Christmas last year, along with like Map to the Stars and a few other ones. I think this one too, but yeah, I don't know. I just wish I could have liked it more. It might change upon a rewatch, but I don't know. I thought it was all right.
it.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it be like that, you know.
yeah, it do, but you know, so.
uh, and then I guess the last thing I want to talk about was the Purple Rose of Cairo,
Mhm.
the Woody Allen movie with Mia Farrow and Jeff Daniels and Danny Aiello too.
Mhm.
But it's I think that in a lot I think that a lot of times movies about movies can really come off as masturbatory, like Mank or something like that, where they just want to tell you, the filmmaker just wants to tell you, hey, look at how great we are, look at all the great stuff that we do, we make the movies, like this
Mhm.
is
I think it's
this is
pronounced stank, but I don't know. It's just
yeah, pretty much. But the Purple Rose of Cairo, I think Alan did a really good job uh making putting the enjoyment of movies on the audience, and why movies are so magical. And
mhm.
it's about a woman played by Mia Farrow who loves going to the movies, loves going to the theater. It takes place in the Depression, and she watches this one movie, The Purple Rose of Cairo,
Mhm.
again and again, and then just like randomly out of nowhere, the main star of the movie, played by Jeff Daniels, just like walks out of the screen and becomes real because he falls in love with Mia Farrow. and then like I just haven't laughed this hard in a movie in so long. And 'cause there's like great bits where like you have like all the other supporting cast members of the movie just
Mhm.
like complaining and like waiting for him to come back, and they're all like sitting in a room and arguing with like the people that are in the theater, and like they're like insulting like people in the theater and the audience and stuff.
Mhm.
And like then you have like you have like some characters that just like show up out of nowhere, and they're like wondering like why isn't the plot progressed and stuff. And it kind of pokes fun at movie logic too, like when he starts kissing Mia Farrow, Jeff Daniels is the character that he plays. He he says like he starts kissing her and he's like, "Why isn't there a cross dissolve? Like we it's supposed to we're just supposed to be whisked away to a private place." And she's like, "Oh no, that just happens in the movies." Or like how he gets into fights with people, but like he never gets like roughed up or anything. Like his hair is perfectly fine and like all that stuff. But it's just a really funny Allen movie that also is just a love letter to movies, in the same way that watching Singing in the Rain makes me realize why, I love film so much, and why I think it's so magical, and how it can be a form of escapism, take you away to another place, and
Yeah.
also be a source of inspiration.
Nice, man. I'm gonna have to check that out. That was a very good review of it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I think I've heard you talk about that one before, but I always mistake that movie with, is there another Allen film where the like a similar premise happens where I think an audience member gets taken into the movie? or am I just
Uh,
mistaking it?
Gets taken into a movie. I don't know
Yeah,
about it.
because there's like this one shot that I see. I feel like fairly often where maybe like Woody Allen pops out of like a theater screen and enters into the audience. Does that happen in Purple Rose of Cairo?
No, Woody Allen actually isn't even in in this movie. He
Oh
just
wow, okay.
directed and wrote it. Uh,
I might be thinking of something else. I'm not sure.
I think you're thinking of Mank, actually.
Ah, dang. Oh man, I'm interested to see how that one's gonna shake out in a few months. Come awards time. Is anyone gonna talk about it?
I think we're both on the anti-Mank train, so we're
Yeah,
hoping,
it's
for a
okay.
word.
Yeah, it's all right. Um, but I don't think it necessarily is deserving of the awards, but we'll see. It's definitely going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be an interesting year. That's for sure.
If only we can do our Oscars crossover with on cinema at the cinema. We can do it with Greg Turkington and Tim Heidecker.
That would be amazing. Um, yeah. I guess are you ready to get into news?
You know it.
All right. We got quite. I feel like each week the news list gets a little bit longer, but I'm gonna try and rattle through them. Regina King is going to play Shirley Chisholm in a new
Shirley
biopic.
Chisholm.
Shirley. Oh my God, I said that
It's
wrong.
all right.
I say Shirley.
No, Shirley Chisholm is her name.
Oh, okay. My bad. Oops. I don't have great handwriting, and I think I messed it messed it up. Damn, I was worried about doing that. If it's not one thing, it's another with the names for me.
It's all right.
Um, oh boy, I know I'm gonna get this one wrong. Um, M- Marwin Kinziari, is joining the Black Adam cast. Zack Snyder is already talking about his next film, and it will be based off the King Arthur. So it'd be kind of interesting to see um, if he followed Guy Ritchie and did King Arthur 2, although probably unlikely.
I
um,
know the King Arthur community is really
they're
excited for these films.
well, they're just dying for another remake because it
All
hasn't been
12.
done. Kiki Palmer is joining Jordan Peele's next film, so that one is currently in development at the moment. And I know I'm gonna butcher this name, but we'll go ahead and give it a shot. Regi John Page, and I believe he was from Bridgerton, so he's riding that Bridgerton fame. He will be joining the D&D movie. So there's a D&D movie in the works.
Another one, you mean? Because there was that one from the 2000s
Oh yeah, I
with
need to see
Jeremy
that
Irons.
one. Yeah. Um.
Uh,
Oh, Jeremy
I don't know
Johns
if
was
it.
in it.
Jeremy John.
Was he holding a beer or was he giving a thumbs up? That's what I really need to know.
Please come on
Um.
our show, Jeremy.
Yeah, that would definitely be quite the interesting guest episode. It's not exactly film related, but I thought I would mention it because it kind of is a short film. But unfortunately today, Daft Punk announced their, I guess the end of their, kind of the end of the duo's relationship as Daft Punk with a little, short video called Epilogue. It's an interesting little movie or little short film, I guess, if you want to call it that, as a send off to their legacy. Guy Ritchie is writing and directing a movie called The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which will be based around World War II. So he's already busy with his next movie.
Where
Um,
does this man just
he,
everything's gentleman this, gentleman that,
oh
you know?
yeah, I forgot his movie was. I still haven't seen that one, but It looked all
Yeah.
right.
Hey, we can watch it this weekend. I think it's on Showtime.
I'd be down. I like Guy Ritchie. I'm not a huge fan of Aladdin, but I mean, I think those are for reasons probably people who know me or know my opinion might could guess why I don't like that one. Um, the Netflix train is continuing to pump on as they are making a movie called The Luckiest Girl Alive, which will have Mila Kunis as the star. This one actually sounds kind of interesting, but it's about a true crime documentarian interviewing Mila Kunis's character about an incident that happened at like a private boarding school, I think, when she was younger. And it's kind of about her having to relive whatever that incident is under the exploration of this documentarian. Um, in other Netflix news, I should say, Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead now has a release date of May 21st. So he's getting two big projects out in 2021. Um, excuse me.
Lucky.
Netflix has a ton of stuff that popped up this week. Continuing to talk about it, but yeah, fuck yeah. Army of Dead looks interesting. Oh, excuse me. Sherlock Holmes. Minor characters of the Sherlock Holmes books are getting their own character they're getting their own miniseries. Sorry about that. And it's called The Irregulars. That's going to Netflix. Alice Lowe is making a movie called Time Stalker, and we'll have Natasha. Oh no, I'm gonna butcher this. Dimitriov, which I believe she is from What We Do in the Shadows fame from that show on FX. It'll also have Sam Riley and Jacob Anderson. And then
Jake Bandersnatch.
well, funny you say Bandersnatch because Benedict Cumberbatch is working on a 39 Steps miniseries. He will
As in
also
the
the Hitchcock.
the Hitchcock film. Oh, okay.
Yep. It currently doesn't have a home, but they are starting to film it. I think he's also going to be a producer. But they're going to start shopping it around coming up here soon. In news of another adaptation, Edgar Wright is working on The Running Man. So that's kind of interesting to see him kind of tackle that. That he's got a next project in the work. He's not slowing down.
Wait, you mean The Running Man is in the Arnold movie from the 80s?
I wish.
Oh, man.
The Stephen King. It's a Stephen King adaptation. I've seen the poster 100 times, but I've never seen the movie. I know I'm gonna butcher this name too. Sasha Kali.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's Calle.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be Collie.
Yeah. She's been cast as Supergirl, so she will. I'm assuming that she's getting her own movie, but she will first appear in the Flash movie in the works.
I mean, the Flash movie that's been in the works
ever for like the past like 6 or 7 years or something. But you know, they got the Michael Keaton news, even though they hadn't finished the script.
Well, when we finally get to collect Social Security, we can use that money and put it towards our theater ticket to go see The Flash.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm honestly surprised with the thing that happened with Ezra Miller that he's still attached to it. Which that whole thing was kind of crazy. Hugh Jackman has a new movie coming out called Reminisce. And they just released a teaser for it. Tom Hardy is joining I always want to say Gareth Edwards, but Gareth Evans' movie Havoc. Paul Feig is working on his next film called The School for the Good and the Evil, and it will have Charlize Theron and Kerry Washington. I'm assuming in the two main roles. Daisy Ridley is finding work again, so that's good for her. I know she said she was having trouble after Star Wars.
She's got that she's got that one,
The Chaos
Doug
Walking.
the Doug Lyman one next month.
Yeah,
But
but dude, it's
as a Lyman head, I'm ready.
well, it's
Like I
just so weird because they look so young. Both her
Yeah,
and
I know.
Tom Holland, like you can tell it was shot forever ago. Sorry, but she's joining the Marsh King's Daughter, which apparently will be a thriller. Um, as everyone knows, me and Chris love us some Ari Aster, and his next film is moving along, and it's called Disappointment Boulevard, and we'll have Joaquin Phoenix as the star.
Wow,
Um,
so he named the movie after what I'm gonna think of it. No, kidding.
I know I'm not too big of a fan of Ari Aster, but this one might be interesting. If it's like a drama, I think he could possibly do a pretty good drama. Um, hopefully
Yeah.
it's more original. Um, than other stuff, but there's a new Mortal Kombat trailer. And I guess to loop back around to Joaquin Phoenix, everyone knows he played the Joker. And this will probably not sound like it connects, but just hear me out. Disney released the new Cruella trailer, which has Emma Stone.
It's
And
female Joker.
yes, the trailer is almost a 1-to-1. Like if you watch them side by side, it's insane.
Yeah,
Special
it's
props to friend of the show Graham for pointing that out to me because I didn't notice it at first, but then he was like, "No, just like watch," and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like it's
I
insane.
are they gonna go like the PG-13 route for Cruella? I mean, like, will they dare be like, all right, we're gonna make this as dark as possible?
It'd be pretty funny if it was rated R. If they
Oh
were
god,
like, I
no.
mean, it would never
Surely.
happen, but did you see the poster?
Yeah, no, I saw the
Dude,
poster. Yeah.
it looks like something off a Tumblr. I don't
Yeah.
know what they were doing with I don't know what the design team was really going for. I mean, the trailer, I mean, despite it being very similar to the Joker, I mean, I don't visually it doesn't look bad. I mean, I don't really know if I'm going to go out and see this one. I mean, I like Emma Stone, but again, I
Yeah,
don't really
no,
see
not.
the yeah. Um
I
uh
did you know that Craig Gillespie's directing it? That's weird.
what else
You know
has
the
he
guy,
done?
he's like one of those directors that you'll see what he's done and you go like, "Oh, like he directed Lars and the Real Girl, that Fright Night remake from
Oh,
2011,
okay, yeah.
uh and I, Tonya, and
Oh, wow, really?
yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. He seems like kind of
I
just like
mean,
a director that just will just, he just signs a contract and he's like, "I'll do it," which is,
yeah. I
which is
mean,
respectable.
I like from what I remember, haven't watched it recently, but I do like the Fright Night remake, and I really liked I, Tonya. Lars and the Real Girl is still something I've been meaning to get around to. I just haven't done it yet, but
Lars and the Real Girl's pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to check that one out soon because I've always wanted to, but I just haven't done. I think there was one night where I was gonna watch it, but I decided to watch All Good Things instead, which is
Another
um
Gosling film.
another. Have you
Based
seen
off
that
of
one?
No, that's the one that's based off of Robert Durst, right?
Of
The
Limp Bizkit
Jinx movie.
fan.
Yeah, bro. His
Fame.
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Fred
yeah.
Durst's brother.
I'd say check it out. It's an interesting little movie. I don't think you're gonna be thinking about it a ton, but I think it's a decent movie. Um, and this is a little kind of interesting, the way this thing is kind of shaken out. But the Scorsese and DiCaprio movie that's been in the works for I feel like a few years now, Killers of the Flower Moon. Leonardo DiCaprio will no longer be the lead, but he will be the, I guess, secondary, kind of supporting to the lead. But Jesse Plemons is kind of stepping in the lead role of that movie. So it's still moving along, but I feel like I hear something about it, it goes away, and then I hear something about it again, but um, which I'm
Well,
interested
Marty's busy, you know. He's working on so much stuff. Like
in.
there's just it seemed like so out of the blue when that Fred Leibowitz thing came out. It was just like, yeah, Martin Scorsese is like a mini series about Fran Lebowitz that's coming out on Netflix in like a few weeks, and I'm like, oh
Yeah,
shit, yeah,
I mean,
like
I gotta give props to him. I mean, he's a busy man, but I know he kind of does have a track record of announcing stuff and then not really being able to move forward with some of it. But I
I was
mean,
waiting for The
yeah,
Irishman since like 2013 or so. So
yeah. Which I think I'm
uh,
gonna rewatch that one soon. Not to get too sidetracked, but I really want to see De Niro doing the De Niro face of Joe Pesci again. Which I need to just watch Casino too, but yeah.
yes, yes, you do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one I've just been trying to find the time to get around to it. But lastly, Netflix rears its head again. This time with Tim Burton at the helm of it, but he's directing a Wednesday Addams um mini series. I don't know if it's going to be a show, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be a mini series. But yeah, Tim Burton is doing that, and it will be live action too as well. So,
Sick.
there's that. Oh, sorry. Well, I guess are we ready to do an ad break real quick?
Yeah, yeah. Let's do one.
Okay. Okay, and are we are back.
Alrighty. So,
Mm-hmm.
this week's film is Belgian filmmaker Chantal Akerman's News from Home from 1976.
Mm-hmm.
You might know her as the director of Janine Delman de I can't pronounce it, but the one it's the one where you see it's the housewife movie. Jean Dielman 23 Quai de Commerce 1080 Bruxelles.
Mm-hmm.
Um so it's kind of a landmark, feminist film, but
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen it yet, but eventually it's like nearly 3 hours long, over 3 hours long. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, this is a movie by Chantal Akerman, and in podcast 43 fashion,
Mm-hmm.
Fulton, what did you think of News from Home?
I didn't know quite what to expect. And I went to look up how long the film was just out of curiosity. And I accidentally read the synopsis, and I kind of wish I hadn't. um, because just to, I guess, give people a little breakdown on at least on what IMDb says. It's about kind of stagnant footage, coupled together with Chantal's narration of her mother's letters that the mom would send to Chantal, and Chantal had run away, and so this is kind of the only interaction that they have, between her and her mom can be passive aggressive sometimes. But I guess I kind of want I, um, I think the way I feel about this film, um, I really wanted to like it more, if I'm being honest. I didn't feel like I quite had the same experience that other people had had with it, where they connected with it on a really deep and emotional level. And to that extent, I can see where people are getting that deep kind of emotional resonance within it. I don't think it quite struck the same chord for me, but I mean, to give credit where credit's due, I don't think she had a lot of money when she was making this, and I could be wrong, but I think it's a very, very well made documentary for, with what her budget was. I mean, the shots are simplistic, but they're also very, very um, I think they're quite beautiful. It does capture New York at a very different time than what I think a lot of people think of it currently. I mean, I'm sure people think of New York as gross, but this was New York back in the 70s. But I don't think it really kind of taps into that grossness. It more tries to focus on, what New York, is for Chantel, and it captures a lot of the people and a lot of the little environments, and it's all very like it fits within the rule of thirds, I think, a lot, which really kind of give to its kind of, I think, simplistic but kind of very pretty nature of a lot of the shot compositions. But I guess one last thing I kind of wanted to say before we go we talk about it a little bit more. I do really like the juxtaposition of, her mom is writing from where she was born, so and she's getting news and tidbits of the place that she was at, and then it's juxtaposed to the place that she's currently at. And I just think that's kind of like a unique idea to kind of like pinpoint in between each other.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's shows its distance. Before we talk about the movie, I just wanted to just kind of go off of your point about how the movie looks and how it's all shots of New York in the 70s and the mid
Mm-hmm.
70s. Um, what if I told you that Todd Phillips said that this is his number one influence for the cinematography of Joker?
Are you being for real?
I'm not kidding.
I'm surprised he even. I mean, I'm not trying to dog Todd Phillips out. I'm just surprised that he even knows about it, about this movie. Like I did. But I mean, at the same time, he also did do that. I think his first movie was a documentary about Ollie G. No, not Ali G. Was it Ali G? The punk rock. Um, what's that dude's name? Do you know who I'm talking about? He was a vile dude, a gross dude.
Oh, Gigi Allen.
G.G. Allen. Yeah. Why did I
Oh,
think of Ali G? I'm sorry.
like
Cause
Ali G, Gigi Allen. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I guess in my first initial reaction was just, nah, I'm kind of surprised, but I guess I kind of get it. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense. I see it now. It didn't come to me at first, but wow. Okay. Hmm.
I think that this movie is something that uh it's hard to not look at it and kind of have your own personal experience attached to it. And
Mhm.
I think that I think it really does a good job with just kind of being a very humanist film in that way, that it just kind of latches onto your emotions and you just think about it and you just hear the letters and you just, I don't know, I felt a large sense of sympathy for Chantal Ackerman's mother, and
Mhm.
how she's like, "Oh, come on, can you please write to me more?
Mhm.
You don't call me enough, or I want you to call me." And it's like, she was 21 when she moved to New York, and I think it kind of shows that, that dynamic of like, you're on your own, you're away from your parents for the first time, you really want to do your own thing,
Mhm.
and it's hard. It's hard to let go and also, keep in touch with the people that you've lived with your whole life, because you want to be independent, and it doesn't mean that you don't love your parents,
Mhm.
but it also means that you also have to like learn and how to stay in touch with them and stuff while still doing your own thing.
Mhm.
And I think I can connect to that on a personal level, because I've lived in other countries and stuff, and I can only imagine what it was like for, my parents to keep in touch with my grandparents and stuff. And it's hard when you're that far away
Mhm.
from your parents, and you still love them, and of course uh want to talk to them. But yeah, I think another thing that I really like about this movie, though, is how she shows the passage of time. And
Mhm.
that's what I think makes it so brilliant. Other than just the documentary style, is you have these large gaps in between each letter, and it's
Mhm.
supposed to show like, she hasn't gotten a letter in a while,
Mhm.
and then how it just fades away at the end with the fog
That's a beautiful shot too.
of, yeah, of like the World
Yeah.
Trade Center and the skyline, and yeah.
Mhm. It slowly starts at like the port, I'm assuming, or wherever the boat was leaving, and it slowly
Yeah.
gets farther and farther and farther and farther. And the seagulls play a nice little
Yeah.
flair to it too, as well, to give them props for that as well. But I know they didn't plan it, but um, yeah, I mean, maybe, because with COVID and everything that's happened, it did kind of stunt my plans of moving out. So maybe the reason I haven't like resonated with it so heavily as other people have is because maybe I haven't had to experience being out on my own, and being away from my parents. I mean, it's something I've thought about quite a good bit, where I've said like, because I know I get kind of bad about, when people don't live super close to me, keeping in touch with them. I'll just call my parents every Sunday or every Monday or something, try to keep a schedule. But I'm sure this film might resonate for me a little bit more once I actually do move out on my own, and experiencing, um,
Yeah, like
experiencing
independence.
yeah, independence, and I might be able to resonate with what she's going for a little bit more heavily. I mean, I can definitely sympathize. Like, I thought it was very, um I think there's a line by the mother where she's like, I don't understand why you're not answering my questions. And because she's asking Chantel like how she's doing, what her job is, if she's still working, at a
For your
certain job.
friends.
Yeah, who are your friends? Where are you living? Are you in a bad part of town? I've heard New York is very dangerous.
Yeah.
So I think, from a mother's standpoint, she's probably just trying to understand what her daughter's doing the most, all while it being anxious, and then maybe Chantel is kind of thinking, that's too much or something.
Yeah. And it's like there I just kind of, wrote down some quotes from her mother that
Hmm.
stuck with me. Like when she said, I live for your letters.
Hmm.
As long as we have our health, you know.
Hmm.
I felt especially alone this week because she was talking about how her father was like, on a business trip or somewhere in Italy, I believe.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I think that this is a great one, I think, to show people too that like kind of write off documentaries. Cause I mean, like, documentaries are there's so many bad documentaries. I think more so than even narrative films. Because
Yeah.
like when most people think documentary, they think of like just just people telling a story with some B-roll footage and some like talking heads, and then
Hmm.
that's like pretty much it. But there's really just so much more to this whole genre, and I know I've told you before about my view about how it's kind of it's a different way of telling a fictional story.
Hmm.
Uh
And I completely agree.
And so like this, she takes these real life letters that actually were written to her, and then she juxtaposes them with just just shots of New York City, and she makes something really beautiful and partially true, but also weaving a type of narrative showing the distance between her and her mother,
Hmm.
not just literally, but also figuratively.
Hmm.
And similarly, like, something like, my one of like probably like a top five film of mine, Koyaanisqatsi by
Hmm.
Godfrey Reggio is like similarly like it's a documentary because it's supposed to be reality, but it's still like weaving a type of narrative about technology and our complacency and society. And it just, there's, a combination of music to really nail that point home. And it's just it can be a really great form of storytelling, and it really and just as artistic as a narrative film can be.
Hmm. I wholeheartedly agree. There's a documentary I wanted to tell you about that I just thought of, but I'm struggling to think of the name of it. But when I think of it, I'll send it to you. Um, but yeah, I think, to kind of go back onto your point about, there are a lot of bad documentaries. I think more often than not, the bad documentaries kind of get talked about more, and then the better documentaries don't really get their time in the spotlight. because everyone's always talking about,
True crime.
yeah, whatever Netflix is putting out. And even to a certain extent, as much as I love HBO, and I think they do have a good little documentary production team or distribution team, or however you want to put it. um, I think they're kind of following, or not following, but kind of falling into kind of a set visual style. And just kind of, I'm trying to think of, I think they're kind of falling into a structure with some of their documentaries, and it kind of sucks to see. Um, Maybe the Jinx was the catalyst for it, but you know, but I don't want to write it off too quickly.
I
But
I don't want to. I don't want to. I mean it. I
that's
think
off.
it has.
Yeah, sorry.
They have broader. Those have broader appeal for
Mm-hmm.
sure than something like this. But
Mm-hmm.
but I think that if people did watch this, I think that it can really connect to anyone that has at least had to move away from their parents or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that more people should experience it. And
Mm-hmm.
then rather than watch the Dinky Boop murders, or I don't know, something something like that,
Those
like
infamous murders.
the infamous murders. Uh, but or like that another documentary that I really like that is really cool is this movie called Salesman from the 60s. It's just about these Bible salesmen,
Mm-hmm.
and it just follows them around as they just try to sell people the super expensive Bible, and it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That one is high up on my list too. I haven't seen it quite yet. Um, oh, I'll ask you later. Sorry, I was thinking of another movie, but I don't. It's not on topic.
Mhm.
Um, I was gonna say another one of the. I actually wrote down notes for this one, which is the first for me, but I kind of wanted to keep some of my thoughts in track. Um, I guess to just examine one of the little details. I love the ways in which the people of New York do kind of interact with the camera. Because you see some
Yeah.
people kind of look at it, like they kind of get kind of close to the lens and they're trying to figure out what they're doing. Some people ignore it. Some people actively try to get in front of the camera. Um, and I just think it would be quite interesting to find to be someone that was shot, um, in one of these movies, or in one of, just to be in her documentary and just be watching it and see yourself in it, concerning the subject matter. I think would be quite interesting. But it's just a little side note. I just really like the way, the people of New York. I mean, they have to kind of play a part in the movie because the setting and everything. But I just like the way they kind of interact with the camera. Especially the subway shots. I thought those ones were pretty interesting too.
Oh yeah, those
Mm-hmm.
subway shots are great where it's just the doors and it just moves to the next stop.
Mm-hmm.
Just
It's quite, um I think I don't know. It's just quite creative on their part, and just the way everything lines up too. Like I can't imagine all of it was planned, but it kind of does feel planned at the same time.
yeah, I really did. I've been trying to look to see like if there's any information on like how much people knew about like what they were starring in, but I haven't
Mm-hmm.
been able to really find anything on that.
Mm-hmm. That would be interesting, yeah, because I'm wondering. I mean, the laws have changed so much from then to now. I'm assuming in terms of like, um, having to get people's like signature off on things that they could star in, and but, um, or I know it's different with a documentary, and then different with even shooting in public too. I don't know if you have to get everyone to sign off on it or something. I forget what the law is about that. I was explained it. I got the gist of it in high school, but I don't quite remember anymore. Um, but was there anything else that you kind of wanted to talk about with news from home?
Well, I just yeah, I guess I don't really have much else to say except for Chantal Ackerman is a really cool director
Hmm.
that I need to check out more of her work. That she did that. There's that Eclipse box set with this in it, and then a bunch of other movies that she made in New York City because she
Hmm.
was good friends with like Jonas Mekas, and so she was kind of making those types of just kind of more avant-garde-ish things because she uh I don't know, she died actually fairly recently,
Oh.
but she's really one of the two Belgian filmmakers that I know other than Agnes Varda. Uh,
Yeah, this is definitely, I mean, it's the first movie I watched by her. I don't think I said that earlier, but um, it definitely has caught my interest. I would like to see what else. The one that you mentioned earlier is the one I've always seen screenshots from that I've always wanted to check out. I just haven't done it yet too.
yeah,
But
but yeah, that's all I really have to say. I
mhm.
mean, would you recommend this, Fulton?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's a pretty different experience. I think compared to really whatever you're gonna see at the moment. So, no, unless you're into, I don't even know what you could compare it to. But fans of the Joker might like this. Might give them the similar, similar
Yeah, I know.
appeal. But I mean, not
Any any
not really. But
any Todd any Todd Phillips fans that they wanna see where they wanna see why Gotham looks like it does in Joker,
like
then
New
you gotta
York.
watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, but to go back to what you're saying, yeah, I recommend it. I say check it out for sure.
Yeah, I recommend it too as well. I think it's brilliant. I think yet again, just watch more experimental documentaries,
Hmm.
for sure.
I'm definitely, yeah, agreed.
Well, on that note, Fulton, do you want to introduce our film for next week?
Yes, it will be this. We had to kind of reschedule some things around, so it will be news from the world, correct? The
News of the world,
news of the world. I kept
not to be
getting it
confused
mixed
with
up.
this week's film, News from Home, but News of the World,
Mhm.
Paul Greengrass's latest film with Tom Hanks in it. It's like a
Mhm.
western. I do really enjoy Greengrass's films. I think he's a good studio director. I like his cinematography. He's big with the shaky cam, zoom stuff. But United 93, a favorite of mine.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Well, and we will also have some special guests next time, so we're excited about that as well.
yes indeed.
And I think that's it for us on this episode of Podcast 43. Hope everyone is safe.
Yeah, have a good one.
Oh wait, Chris,
Yeah,
did you want to say something else?
stay wavy.
There we go.